Very excited about that. Very excited about this. My goodness. One of my heroes growing up. Are you kidding
Number
me?
6.
He is back in town. The head coach of the Wayne State Warriors, Michigan legend, Tyrone Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley, how you doing, Coach?
I'm hungry after that.
T-Wee. What's good, T-Wee?
I almost, you said clam chowder, man. That perked me up now. So, no. Other than that, I'm great.
Hey, Ty, man.
Super. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Braden over here, man. You always been, like Ryan said, one of the heroes, man. I used to be on the sideline when you're out there. I know you remember. I remember you and Ricky and Jared and then Chimanga, man. So good to have you now in the space where I can ask you the questions that I may always have wanted to. And also, congratulations on being here, part of the Wayne State Warriors. Man.
Hey, Ty, when this opportunity came up, how important was it for you to get back here in a head job at Wayne State in Detroit? Just take us through how it happened.
Reason for the pause. It's a loaded question. Great question. So I'll just say how it happened was, and to be honest with you, and I don't want to sound cliche, man, if you write down your dreams and your goals and what you want, and you work your butt off, it'll happen for you. It'll happen. It may not happen in the time that you want because God knows what you need. You know what I'm saying? So if you're ready for it, it'll happen, man. So for me, I've always wanted to come back. I've always wanted to be back here in Michigan, but I wanted to be a head coach. And took a couple stops along the way. Had a great stop at Morgan State and had a chance to get the kinks out of my philosophy and what I wanted to do, and learned a lot about myself as a coach, a head coach, as a matter of fact, at Morgan, and it really prepared me for this job. And so really, when the job came available, a guy called me. One of my good friends called me late at night and said, "Hey, man, the job is available." I said, "Shut the door." No, it's not. He said, "Yes, it is." I said, had to go talk to the boss, the wife. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Definitely got to talk to the boss. Hey, T, we asking this question. You're starting to see a lot of guys, former players from University of Michigan, whether it's Cato June, whether it's yourself, whether it's Mike Hart, Ron Bellamy. Guys are starting to get in coaching. What is the ultimate end game for you as a coach? And I know that's a loaded question as well, but what does this Wayne State job affords you do? What is the ultimate goal?
You know what? I don't answer that question anymore because, like I said, one of the first things I learned at Morgan was, Coach Moe used to say this all the time, man, blossom where you are. You have to blossom where you are, and he told me that once because, I was talking a little smack about me going to the league, and he was like, "Hey, you're just a freshman. Blossom where you are." And so what happened to me at Morgan was every day was a sprint. And I wore the people out at Morgan, man. I wore them out. They was like, "Hey, you're coming in, you have these great ideas, you have this big picture." He said, "But to us, it's an 8x10 frame, but to you, it's a 100-inch frame. And we can't project that on our lines just yet, right?" So I had to slow my walk down and really blossom where I was at Morgan. Get the things done that would need to be done at Morgan. And so right now, I'm getting things done that needs to be done here at Wayne State. And to be honest with you, I used to say my ultimate goal was head coach of the NFL. My ultimate goal was to be back in Ann Arbor as the head coach. But you know what? Listen, man, smell the roses, blossom where I'm at right here at Wayne State. And I got 2 juggernauts I got to beat. And that's it right here.
Talking to Tyrone Wheatley, one of the best running backs in the history of the University of Michigan, 10 years in the NFL, former first-round pick. And Tyrone, I think that is, whether you're a football coach or a radio guy, a TV guy, a salesman, you're selling cars, whatever you're doing, blossom where you are. That's an incredible message. I want to ask you about Wayne State because I feel like that program is a little bit of a sleeping giant. The access that you have to the talent, the high school talent in and around the city is pretty darn good. We've seen Wayne State have success in the past Just what do you make of the opportunity and the situation at Wayne State?
Well, one of the biggest things for me is when people talk about opportunities, the key word in the definition of opportunity is circumstances, right? So what are the circumstances? All the circumstances must align, meaning, yes, there's incredible talent in the city of Detroit and the surrounding suburbs, Oakland County, Wayne County, you name it. The talent is there. But when you talk about the circumstances, it's also a high academic school, so you have to take the right kid. And when I say the right kid, it doesn't mean high academic kid, it just means the right kid, right? It's Wayne State the place for this kid, and I'm the right coach for that young man, because I hate saying the word old school because a lot of young guys are like, "Coach, you old school." No, I'm not old school. Kobe wasn't old school. Kobe was of that generation.
Yeah.
All the guys that are doing great things that need to be done to do it the right way, they're not old school. It's just a formula for success. And for me, football hasn't changed. There's still an element of physicality. No matter how, they can make the field 75 yards and spread that thing out as far as you want. There's still an element. You got to go put your face on somebody, right? So you have to tackle physical guys. Got to want to be disciplined. And so that's what I'm saying, the right young man and the circumstances. But you can't. And for me, no matter where I went, no matter where I was at Syracuse, I always recruited home. Morgan State, I recruited home. It's I'm a big Michigan seller. Braylon can attest to this. You're in the locker room, guys talking about, name the top 5 states in football. I'm always going to say Michigan.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Never saying Michigan.
You can say what you want to say. You can say what you want to say, but I'm putting Michigan in that top 5.
Yeah.
And now that I'm back, I don't have to go anyplace else. I don't. It's really, really, really to the point where I'm a kid in a candy store, and I have all the time in the world to sit and pick through what I want. And that's great. It's one of the great pleasures of being back home.
Wayne State head coach Tyrone Wheatley joins us here on Woodward Sports. Ty, it's Tom Mazaway. Thanks so much for joining us. I wanted to ask you about Wayne State. It's been about 11 or 12 years since they were in the national championship. Paul Winters did a really great job with the school. And, it's time for change. You have to hear a different voice. And to have you here ready to go is a great thing for these kids. You got a lot of competition. Ferris State just won the national championship. Grand Valley is a hell of a team. There's a lot of great talent here in Michigan. Where's Wayne State stacking up right now?
Right now, I'm still on the assessment page of it all. But to be honest, and you got to be truthful. Like, that's the first thing as a coach. You have to be honest with yourself. So wherever the record was is where we are right now. But there is a tomorrow. There's a next week. There's a next month. And we're going to get to work and to improve things. But like I said, we got to start by recruiting, and the recruiting process of getting kids in here. But the thing is it's hard to get right now. The reason why it's hard to get them on it's not because they don't know who I am. They don't understand my message. They don't understand the culture I'm trying to build. And you're going to need some special players. People can say what they want to say. Right now, this is copycat football. Everyone's pretty much running the same offense, the same defense. But what's different? It's the guys that's performing the best. It's all about the Jimmys and Joes, not the X's and O's. It's all about the Jimmys and Joes.
Yo, man, I got to ask you a serious question. I've always thought about this question. Now I'm going to ask you. 94 and 95, you break your ankle, you get hurt, or you mess your ankle up, you get hurt. If you don't get hurt, am I watching TV in December and am I cheering that my favorite player won the Heisman? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm asking. Because when I was a kid, you couldn't tell me that, whether it was Rashawn Salam or Charlie, I don't know who won the particular Heisman. You couldn't tell me they would have won if you don't get hurt. That's all I'm saying.
I don't get hurt. Damn right I win that Heisman.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I knew it. Now he was.
Let me just tell you this.
Please.
And I didn't come back to school to win it, but I would say that was maybe third on my list.
Yeah.
But if I don't get hurt, I'll put it this way. I was in probably the best shape of my life. And, I was a slim 230, man.
Monster.
Slim 230 and was rolling. I mean, I had a great track season that year prior to it, leading up to that season. I was ready. I mean, I was ready. And Gittleson,
Yeah.
man.
Say less.
He took me in the shed and fizzled me, man. He, it was painful days, but I grew a lot. I grew a lot in terms of understanding the process of being a true champion. Not just me personally, but a champion for my teammates, a champion for workouts, a champion in a classroom. So for me, going into my team, man, it all just started to click and to fall into place. And I haven't got hurt yet. I believe I walk away with it.
Yeah, I've been arguing that for 30 years, man. I'm glad you proved my point. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Coach, I got one for you. Last year you spent in Denver with the Broncos. I know you're leaving the NFL behind now for college. Denver's got a whole new way of looking at things now. Sean Payton is there, and they're going to go forward with that regime. But I heard you were wearing all your Detroit gear into practice every day, and the players were giving you a hard time. What's up with that?
Man, listen. I'm Detroit. Even though I'm born Inkster, raised,
through.
I'm Inkster. I'm Inkster. So, like, one thing I appreciate about my Michigan people, especially my Detroit people. If you're from Detroit, you're from Detroit. If you're not,
What
I'm
up,
from
though?
Inkster. So I'm not from Chicago. Like, well, I'm from Chicago, and you're not. No, but I grew up. So during that era of the Pistons, the Red Wings, Bob Probert, the Lynchman. That's my guy. I love Bob Probert, right? He basically just went out there without. That was his game, right? But that was the era of when I grew up and how I grew up, and I modeled basically my sports lifestyle after those teams, those sports teams. So of course the Avalanche being, Colorado, an Avalanche country, and anyone who's if you're in Detroit, you ought to know the big old. They just did it. I haven't seen it, but I think they did 30 for 30 or something doing it.
They did. Unrivaled, it's called.
Either way, there's a history. There's a blood blast history between the Avalanche and the Red Wings. And I'm in the heart of Denver, and I'm wearing my Red Wings stuff every single day. Every day. And in my old Cedric the Entertainer voice, I wish who would say something to me about my Red Wings stuff.
That's great. Hey, Ty, last one for you. I'm curious your take on college football as a whole these days. Nick Saban recently told a story about how he had a recruit ask him for $800,000. Then he had another one ask him for $500,000. Then he had somebody, a recruit, say, "I'll come here, but you got to get my girlfriend into school and pay for her tuition." We saw the kid down in Florida apparently left Florida, decommitted from Florida because the $13 million NIL deal fell through. How do you assess where college football, big-time college football, is right now?
Oh, okay. So I'm in 1,000% in agreement with the young men having their NIL. I am 1,000% in agreement. Okay. What I don't like is how they're taking this thing and making a mockery out of it. So now, if that's the case, these men are walking around asking for this money, parading for it. But here's the deal. It says you're in charge of your name, image, and likeness. Go create your name. Go create your image. Then get it. And so it's kind of, and this is kind of where it started. It all started by when people started giving these kids 5 stars and, they're doing all this hack. I almost cursed. I'm sorry. I got a little upset. This hack flipping stuff and put it on because you're being praised before you even played it down. Right? And do you go to the car lot and they take the car and I give you the money later? No. So my whole opinion of it is this. Come in. Don't get a damn dime. You prove yourself. You pay your dues. And if you handle your own image and in name, image, and like, you get what you get. But don't come into college not paying anything, saying, okay, I'm asking for this much money. Now, here's the second part. You in college, you're making your name, and you get your money. How can you ask a college to pay for it? How
Right.
can you ask a college to say, I need X, Y, and Z? That's your job. That's your mom's job. That's your dad's job. Now, that's your lawyer's job. Go pay him 20%. Because if I'm a college coach, I'm just putting it out there. I'm a college coach, and you tell me you need this, I'll say, you know what, I'll give it to you, but I want 20%.
You feel exactly how I feel. I absolutely agree with you. I think these kids should get paid.
Show me a little.
They
though.
absolutely
Yeah.
could, but just quit making a mockery out of it. Coach Wheatley, we can't thank you enough. Anything that we can do for you in the future, please let us know. We'd love to be a part of that Wayne State program too, because it is a sleeping giant. Big fans of yours, and I have to tell you, so I was a good football player back in my own right.
What was your number?
I never came out of the game.
You were. This is his claim to fame.
So we are on the road today doing a show, but I have a picture. So when I got moved up to varsity as a freshman, I couldn't use my number, so I changed my number to 6 because you wore number 6. So big fan of yours for a long time.
I've been watching him since Robichaud in them high school meets, man. I tell you like this, maybe you'll allow me to come talk to your wide receivers. Wink, wink.
Hey, man, listen, you know the doors will open to you anytime.
There it is.
Man. Come on.
I'll be
We'll
there.
love to. We'll love to.
Coach Tyrone Wheatley.
Coach Wheatley. Huh?
Coach Wheatley.
Congratulations.
Head coach, Wayne State University. Coach, thanks, man.
Wheat.
Love to talk to you down the road, bud.
Thank you very much. Love you guys.
You got it. You got it.
Thanks
Go
to
Warriors.
Jeff Weiss, by the way. of Wayne
Absolutely.
State.
Love
Thank you,
Jeff Weiss. Great man there.